Hey, don't know if I got some people here joining me right now, um, but um, this is kind of sort of a spontaneous thing. I had decided to do this after getting a message from Dana earlier today that we weren't going to be doing the midday with Dana and Jay. And so I want to start off giving a shout out to Dana because she's feeling really bad. She's sick. Um, and she often does feel bad, but she pushes through it and she goes out of her way to entertain you folks. She did a show last night, and her cooking show and her watch-alongs, and Dana always goes out of her way for to entertain you guys, and she's feeling really bad now. So wish her the best. Maybe send her a message or do it here. Um, you know, give all the good thoughts in the world that you have that Dana feels better soon because, like I say, she goes above and beyond despite how she may feel uh, to uh, to entertain. And oh my goodness, my cell phone. And so let's wish her good thoughts and that she gets better soon. It's just everyone seems to be sick now. I'm just getting over a case of strep, and I rarely get sick, but I did. I got strep. I got tested for COVID. I didn't have that, but I had strep. Got the antibiotics and all that. Um, and but Uncle Bill, is just getting over something. You know, Dana's husband Steve was sick, and I think that's where Dana got what she's got now. Got it from him, I believe. But yeah, just everyone seems to be sick now. So ugh, dealing with all that crap and the mucus and the snot and the and the coughing and all that crap. So, is there anybody watching? I'm not seeing anyone comment here, so I don't know if anyone's watching right now or not. Um, if there's anyone that wants to join me here, I can send you the link. If I got you as a friend on Facebook, I can send you the link if you want to join me. Uh, and let's see. Uh, oh, I'm so nearsighted. So that's why I have to just put my face right up to the screen to see what people are saying. Uh, uh, and it's Phantasmat says he's listening in from work. Hope you guys, and Tainted Soul says, I hope you guys feel better. Well, thank you, sir. Uh, I'm doing good. Even at my worst with the strep, the worst was just a bad cough, and I had a little mild fever. I had about 100-degree fever, but that didn't last long, so I didn't feel bad. I mean, I do, I probably exercise more than I should. I probably overdo it, but I exercise a lot. I spend a lot of time outside working out and stuff like that. A lot of it is just because I'm just so hyperactive. I'm just burning off energy. But I think that helps to kind of combat illnesses is to keep yourself in decent shape. I'm 58 years old, so kind of have to put in some extra effort to sort of keep myself in shape. But yeah, even at its worst, I didn't really feel real bad. I just had this bad cough, and then the damn snot and mucus and coughing up that phlegm and crap. Sorry to share it with you, but if you people out there that are putting up with this kind of crap, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, but yeah, just uh, you know, that time of year, the people getting sick. I got the flu vaccine, but I didn't get the latest COVID vaccine because it's not free anymore. I had all the vaccines and all the boosters back when they were giving it away, but now it's like $180 out of pocket, and I'm on Medicaid. It doesn't cover the COVID vaccine. So I managed to get the flu vaccine, but I didn't get the COVID vaccine. I really want it, but anyway. So this is just like I say, if anyone maybe wants to join me on the stream here, let's see. Wes says, Jay, do you have any fond memories of the lovely Chris Kimilicious from back in the day? Yeah, I just remember how attractive she was. I don't remember a lot of the things she said or the conversation she participated in. I just remember her being really pretty. That's really the only thing I remember about Kimilicious. And there's been a lot of talk about Kimilicious lately. Dana has been talking about Kimilicious, and uh, so I can't really speak to what Dana spoke about. Well, yeah, she was really pretty, but she didn't really seem to know much about horror movies. She was just kind of, you know, just showing her stuff or whatever, but didn't really participate much in the actual discussion about horror films and stuff that Dead Pit would talk about. Which not, I don't see that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, some eye candy's nice, now and then. Um, but I can't really speak to that because I don't remember. The only thing I remember about Kim Alicious is that she was really attractive. I remember Miko Macabre, and I do remember she was very knowledgeable about horror films, and her show was really entertaining. And she was really pretty, and she showed off her prettiness, of course. But she also knew her shit. She could talk horror films, and she could talk details about horror films. She knew what she was talking about. So if that's an exception to Kimilicious, I don't know. Because, like I say, I barely remember Kimilicious other than just physically being really pretty. So that answers that question about Kimilicious. Um, but but yeah, like I say, this usually we'd be doing the midday with Dana and Jay around noon my time, 1 o'clock for you guys, but not today because Dana's she's not feeling good at all. So I want to harp on that too much, but y'all give just good thoughts out to her. And I'm eating chicken taquitos. I didn't have any lunch, and so I'm eating chicken taquitos. So, um, and there's Texas. Hey everyone. Hey Jay. Hey Texas. Um, I thought, as far as the subject, and we can talk about anything that you guys want to talk about, anything you want to discuss. Um, let's talk about the new year that's coming. Are you looking forward to it? Do you have any plans? Do you have any hopes and aspirations for the new year, 2024? Um, Speaking personally, uh, I want to make another movie. My recent movie, Crystal, um, kind of ended its film festival run, and it won 43 awards at film festivals. So I'm really pleased with that. Really happy with my actors to give them something they can kind of brag on. And you know, I had posted the link to the Crystal before. I can do it again for you guys that maybe and want to check it out, haven't seen it. It's 20, 23 minutes. I don't know, 20 something minutes, 26 minutes. I forget how many minutes, 20 something minutes. But anyway, I want to make another movie for the new year. But what I need to do first off is get a new camera, and I'm eyeing one. It's a Canon it's a Canon R50. It shoots in 4K. It shoots 24 frames, which is the sort of the movie speed, gives it that sort of movie look. It has a built-in mic, all the good stuff that you would want, and it'll run about $700. Someone blaring their horn, honking out there. I don't know what they're honking about, but anyway, yeah. I mean, you can get it probably around 600 or something, but there's a package deal that I'm looking into. It's about $700. Comes with the additional battery and all that. But yeah, the Canon R50, and I'm about $500 saved up, so I still need to do some saving. And we got someone else coming in here. Jake the Horror Movie Geek says, "Hey Jay, how's it going, man? Going well. I'm doing a lot better. Like I say, I'm coming down from a strep, but I'm feeling a whole lot better. And but be sure to once again, give the good word out for Dana. That's not feeling good at all. But yeah, I want to get the camera. I really want a another either a PC or a laptop that has at least 32 gigabytes of memory for editing. Because if I'm going to go into 4K, those are really big files. Those are huge files to when you're editing, and the memory is the biggest issue with that. You want the more memory, the better. So I want at least 32 gigabytes. 64 will be even better. I'm working with 16, what I've got now, what I've been editing. And I've been editing in HD, high definition footage, which is a pretty big files, even that. But if I'm going to go into 4K, which I'd really like to go into 4K with the next one, I want more memory. And but the first thing I want to do is get that camera. So if you guys wanted to help me get that camera, I've got an idea. I've mentioned this before. And this is who I can't see the name. I'm so sorry. But anyway, saying hi. But anyway, for the few of you that have seen Crystal, you may remember that the lead character, the character Crystal, in the movie, kills some people with a garden shovel, and that's her main weapon. She's brought back out of the grave, and she's got another evil spirit that's inhabiting her body, that's controlling her, and she's killing people. And hang on there to what Wes says. Jay, do you have a PayPal email address? We can post it on here if people want to donate. Yeah, let me find out what that is. I do have a PayPal address. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would do that. Maybe I could. I'll have to find it and find out what the address is. I've got it here on the Kindle. Not that Kindle, the Kindle I use for just surfing the web. I've got PayPal, but I don't know what the address is right now. But if anyone wants to donate, you send me a private message, and I've got a something that I can sell you. I guess you could say sell you, or you could call it a donation to the fund, but you'll get something in return for the grand total of $300, because this is a special prop. I mentioned the shovel, and this is the shovel from Crystal, and it is signed by Megan McGuffey, who plays Crystal in the film, and this is the one and only prop in the film. I didn't buy any multiple shovels. This is it. The shovel you see in the movie, this is it. So I would be giving up a valuable prop to me, because I always like to keep something from my movies. I make it a little props and stuff and have people sign them, that are in the movie. I've got a few other props that aren't signed by any of the cast. So if I'm going to give up the one and only shovel from Crystal and signed by the lead actress, Megan McGuffey, $300. That's what I want for this. And this is what you'll get. You will get this shovel. And you'll say, well, that sounds like a lot of money for a shovel you can get at Walmart for $12. But this is the major prop, the key prop in Crystal, and you're making a donation to the camera fund. And with that $300, I'll be close, if not maybe a little over my what I need to get my camera to make another movie. And I've got the other movie in my head. I haven't written the script yet, and man, it's a doozy. It's really grim. It's not a horror film, but people die in it. There's a lot of blood. There's a tragic ending. I don't know where this comes from. It's the shit in my head where this comes from. But it just came. This idea came, and I couldn't let it go. And so I don't know if it's going to be my next film, but it may very well be. But I need to write the script first. I've got the movie here in my head. I've got it. I got the whole thing in my head. I just got to get it written down. But I like the characters in it. I think it would be a really good idea for actors. Give actors something really to chew on, and give them something really to do. There's two girls, sisters, that are the main characters. One's in her mid-20s, the other's like 10, 11 years old. And then there's a couple of male parts in it where you're playing some bad guys. Whoever would play those two, you've done some stuff, some bad stuff. Basically, they're child abusers, and that they're brought to justice, so to speak, in the film. And yeah. And the tentative title is The List. So we'll see. But anyway, $300. And if you contact me, and I'll find the by PayPal, we'll do some business through PayPal, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know how to post the link right now to my PayPal, because it's been so long since I've done PayPal. But I went and updated my password. I updated my, I got my bank account information in there and all that. So I'm updated on PayPal, but it's been a long time since I've used PayPal. So, and let's see, we've got some comments here. And Blair wants to know what movies inspired you to start directing. I'll tell you one movie. Let me get my taquitos here. I'll tell you one movie that might surprise you that would be a big inspiration. But it is a Jim Jarmusch film, Down by Law. It's got Tom Waits is in it, Roberto Benigni's in it, and I forget who the other actor is. But it's basically escaped outlaw. They've escaped from prison, and they're on the run. And it's what I call a road movie, where they're on the run. They're running and they're escaping. But anyway, it was filmed in black and white. And this was probably late 80s. I don't know. Maybe someone can look up when the actual release date for Down by Law was. But it was filmed in black and white. And I saw the movie and really enjoyed the movie. It's a really independent film. Jim Jarmusch makes these very independent films. They're usually, a lot of dialogue, not a lot of action, but a lot of dialogue. I really like his stuff. But anyway, I really like Down by Law. And I was really surprised to see a film that in the modern day was filmed in black and white. And I just thought that was really unique. The look was very unique, and the style was very unique. And after seeing that, let me take them out here. After seeing that, I said to myself, if I ever make a movie, I want to shoot it in black and white. And I made a movie, Dawn. That some people out there may have seen Dawn or know what Dawn is. I shot it in the early 2000s. We started filming in 2002 and finished in 2003. Dawn. It's about a father that has a daughter, a little girl who's a vampire. He's not a vampire, but she's a vampire. And they have to travel on the road, kind of like Down by Law, kind of a road movie. And I filmed it in black and white. Digital video. And it got some distribution. Tempe Video picked it up on DVD in 2006. And it was reviewed in Fangoria magazine, got a good review in Fangoria magazine and such. So it got a little attention, Dawn. But yeah, it was that Down by Law that really inspired me, not only to want to make a movie, but to want to film it in black and white, And so, yeah, Dawn. And so, that's just been something I've been wanting to do. Like every year or every other year, I want to make a short film. It's been, I guess you would call it a hobby, but when I'm doing it, it's a really big deal to me. It's like I'm all about it. I'm just living for this thing. It's more than a hobby when I'm doing it. and working with the actors. And I have no money, so I spend very little money on these films, you know. But these days you can make a movie and spend very little. Uh, the technology is gone up so high. Most people have a high definition camera in their pocket, with their cell phone. Now, like I say, what I use is like as a DSLR camera that shoots in high definition video, and I want to get that one that shoots in 4K. But there's been movies made with cell phones, and the professional editing software for free. There's two of them. There's DaVinci Resolve and HitFilm Express, and they're pretty much professional grade editing softwares, and they're absolutely free downloads. And just the people I get to be in my movies, of course, they're not professional actors. Now, Crystal had a professional actor with Paris Randall, but usually they're just people. And I don't drive a car. I'm on disability because of my eyes. I'm half blind and real nearsighted in the one I do see out of. So most of the time, my actors have to take me to the shooting locations. They have to come get me. But we get it worked out and we get it done. And I love the process. I love the writing part is my least favorite part of it, because I just want to get it get it written down and get it done. But everything else I really enjoy, finding the actors, working with the actors, filming the scenes, and watching people that have no professional experience really find something within themselves that they didn't even know they had, and really put forth a performance that's really good. I've been so lucky with that, with Crystal, with Megan that plays Crystal, and Bruce Fitch, who I went to school with. He was a grade ahead of me in high school. He plays the father, and he was really good. And Megan was so good. And Paris Randall, I spoke of, who plays this bad guy, he just really brought it. And just, it's so cool to work with people, and particularly knowing that finding people that's never done this before, never acted before, finding finding what they can do acting wise, and being surprised within themselves, and putting this out and really putting forth a really good performance. The little girl and She Made a Monster, the one I made previous to Crystal, was more of a comedy, more of a sort of almost slapstick comedy. This little girl makes a teleportation device and zaps a movie dinosaur into the real world, and it's creating havoc. And that was more of a comedy. I wanted to make something silly and kind of fun. But the girl, Faith, that played the little scientist girl, she was so good. Just perfect casting. And she had never done anything like that before. Never acted or anything. But I mean, it's just like she just jumped off the script. She was so perfect. That's really cool to find people that put forth a performance and find what they can do, and so I love that whole process, and editing and all that. So, but anyway, The List is potentially my next film. Hopefully, we'll see. I may get it written down and decide, I don't know, this is just so grim and so serious that I may want to do something. I may want to do another comedy. I don't know. But I want to get it written down first, and then decide. And have some people read it and see what they think. Let's see. Let's see. Are you an actor? I don't know who you're asking that of. I've done some acting in some of my films, but I don't really consider myself an actor. When I was in high school, my senior one act play went to state. I think we got like third wplace. We didn't win state. Went to third place, and I won 3 Best Actor awards. Up to state, and so I thought maybe that's what I was going to do, is be an actor. Pardon me, stuff in my face. But as the years have gone by, pardon me. As the years have gone by, I've been more interested in telling the story and directing and writing the story and editing and all that. I've enjoyed that more, and so I kind of like being behind the scenes now, in in the telling of the story and letting other people be be the actors. um, let's see. All right, and then something I missed here that CK said. Um, what was the worst watch along movie you've ever done with either Dead Pit or Daner? The worst watch along. Uh, gosh, that's a good question. Um, I haven't done no, it wasn't really bad. The recent thing we did with Joe Bob Briggs, I didn't care for that. I didn't think it was funny. He was doing a stand up act. He wasn't really talking about drive in movies or anything. He did the drive in code thing, oath at the beginning. But other than that, he was doing this, and he sang songs that weren't funny and were way too long and just went on and on. And I just didn't think it was funny because I know Dana's a big Joe Bob fan, and I am too. I really like Joe Bob, but I didn't think that was funny. That his stand up act, I didn't really think any of it was very funny at all. And he went way too far or too long with all that singing and yeah, which it was unfunny songs he had, and his stand up act wasn't funny. So I'm going to say that Joe Bob thing. Most of the movies I've enjoyed that I've done with her. I'm trying to think what the worst is. I'm trying to remember what I've all that I've watched with her. Um, but it usually has been a movie that I have enjoyed, or maybe and been some of my favorites, or been movies. Maybe there've been a few I haven't seen before, but when I watched them with her, and but actually enjoyed them. So I'm going to say that Joe Bob stand up thing. Yeah, no, that didn't do it for me at all. And I like Joe Bob, but I didn't like that. And Blair Hathaway, Patrick Rea is from my hometown of Kansas City. Super nice guy. How did you hear about his films? Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chester Grimm. Uh, the show I did, back, I did that with Ray. Like I said, me and Ray really aren't friends anymore, and it's not a big deal. We're not enemies, but we're not friends anymore. But I did that show with him, Chester Grimm, and the first episode we did was a Patrick Rea. We kind of did a wraparound uh, for one of Patrick Rea's films. Um, and what was the name of that? Oh God, what was the name of that thing? Um, but anyway, it was a guy. He was setting traps in his house to protect himself from invaders or something like that, and things go bad, and it was very entertaining. Um, but I forget the name of it now. But anyway, yeah, that was a Patrick Rea film, and that's how I found out about Patrick Rea. And I've seen several of his stuff since then. He was very cool, particularly in his earlier films. Had almost like a Twilight Zone twist ending, and he was really good at that. But he had a really good visual style, Patrick Rea, for someone that makes independent films. He would come up with some really cool visuals and the way he set shots up and stuff. Um, yeah, he definitely was a talent. I guess is a talent. I guess he's still doing it, still making films. I haven't seen anything he's done recently, but yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, we started the first Chester Grimm has a Patrick Rea film, and I know which I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, um, and let's see, Jake, horror movie geek. What are your favorite Christmas horror movies? Well, probably the standout is Black Christmas. Um, the only thing about Black Christmas is it puts you in such a creepy, creepy mood that I'm not sure that's the mood I want to be in around Christmas time. uh, Black Christmas is really just, and him speaking over the phone and that voice and that laugh and oh, it's such a creepy movie. But as far as a Christmas horror film, I guess that would be the standout. Um, you know, uh, 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 yeah, Black Christmas. Um, I this time of year, I usually once a year I watch Gremlins. I consider that a Christmas movie, Gremlins. Um, I haven't watched it yet this year, but I'm gonna watch Gremlins. Uh, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a Christmas horror film, but like that. Uh, and Silent Night, Deadly Night. That one, I guess, as far as something to watch around Christmas time, I lean more for that because that's more fun. That's more my cell phone. More light. I don't know, lighthearted is the word, but yeah, that one is more over the top. So it's more of a fun watch. Silent Night, Deadly Night. So, um, let's see. Another great Canadian classic, Black Christmas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Sean says Christmas Evil. I don't know if I've seen Christmas Evil. Um, uh, did I see Christmas Evil? I don't know if I saw Christmas Evil. Um, let's see. What about New Year's Evil of 1980? I don't know if I've seen that either. um, uh, Christmas Evil is great, Texas says. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that. But yeah, this time of year, I kind of stay away from the really grim stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to even. I don't even know if I'm going to watch Black Christmas this year. Uh, because I live alone. I don't have family around me. I'm by myself. It's just me and the outdoor cats. And I've got nice neighbors. They took me to town. I had a neighbor today took me to town to get groceries and to take care of some things in town. But you know, since I'm by myself, I don't really want to be in a real grim mood for this kind of season. So I don't know if I'll watch Black Christmas. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I may watch that. Like I say, that one's more fun. Santa Claus conquers the Martians. Russell, yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. Was it a Pizzadora? Is that her name? That's in that. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. I've got that. You get these damn, these big box sets that's got all these, public domain movies on it. And I think I've got one that's got Santa Claus conquers the Martians on it. But it's been forever since I've seen that film. But let's see. Does Joe Bob live here in Texas still, Jay? I want to say Dana said he moved to like New York. I'm not sure if he still lives in New York. He did live in Texas for quite a bit, but I don't know if he still lives in Texas. That's a good question. I don't know. And let's see. Santa versus Satan in 1959. Huh. There's another one. I don't think I've heard of. But yeah, what are like say me wanting to buy my new camera for whatever my next film is going to be, whether it's going to be the list or not. But as far as a hope for the new year, that's my hope for the new year. What are you guys thinking about our next president? Do we have any Trump supporters out there? And it's fine. No judgment if you are a Trump supporter. I am certainly not a Trump supporter. But I will admit to some concern that we're going to get Donald Trump again in the White House. Joe Biden, who I don't think is a very good president, I really don't. But when you look at the alternative, at least from my perspective, if the only alternative we've got is Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I'm definitely voting Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden is a very good president. I don't. There's, well, just in general, I just do not think he's a very good president. But I think far worse would be Donald Trump. And I could go on and on about why, but I'm not going to do that. I've already spoken about that with Dana. And if you're a Trump supporter, I'm not going to judge you about that. I'm just going from my own perspective. I am genuinely concerned that we're going to have Donald Trump in the White House again because Joe Biden's approval rating is really low, and that is the likely Republican nominee is Donald Trump. Now, he's got a bunch of indictments against him and all that. He may be in jail, maybe running the country from jail or prison. But, yeah. So, is there anybody, it's something like, it's like you almost don't want to talk about it because it's like to speak of it is to bring the evil forth. But we've got to face facts. We're going to be electing a new president next year. And is that president going to be Donald Trump? What do you think? Let's see. Red said, hey, do you know how to get bootleg episodes of the new Fraser? I only have the first 2 reboot episodes recorded on DVR. Then they stopped coming on TV. The new Fraser. I don't know. I saw a couple of episodes of that new Fraser and I liked it. And I never was a big fan of the original Frasier, but I watched it it was just on. And so I didn't tune into it, on purpose, but it was on. And I was like, well, I'll watch it. Well, what the heck? And I kind of liked it. I liked what's he, Grammer? Kelsey Grammer? I like him. Always did like him. And I like that new Frasier, what I saw of it. Sean says he wouldn't be surprised if Trump won again. I wouldn't. That's something I would not be surprised if he won again. I would not. It's just a frightening thought to me that will happen again, that we'll have this man running our country again. And what will happen if that happens? Because like I say, he's got all these indictments against him, he could go to prison. And I have heard you can be in prison and still be president. So there you go. But this is just something we have to face. It is not only possible, it's leaning towards likely that we're going to have Donald Trump as our president again. So, there you go. And I got Red says it's on Paramount Plus. And what are you talking about? Red. Oh, you talking about Fraser? Yeah. I finally got Paramount Plus, and the reason why I got it is because I joined Walmart Plus, and that's one of the things you get with Walmart Plus is Paramount Plus. And I watched that damn Pet Cemetery movie, that recent one. Oh God. That's just another example about how they're just shoving bullshit out at you. They're not putting any kind of feeling into it. They're just giving you a product and just shoving it in your face and expecting you to eat it and call it candy. And it was just, and it wasn't even that it was awful. It wasn't awful, but that's even worse than being awful, because an awful movie can be kind of fun if it's just so bad it's good. But when you take something like that Pet Cemetery prequel, I forget the name of it, David Duchovny's in it, that's just sort of it's not terrible, it's certainly not good, but it's just pure product. No feeling whatsoever put into it. And it just leaves you just feeling kind of pissed off that they shove this in our face and they expect us to like it. But I watched that on Paramount Plus. But yeah. I finally got Paramount Plus. So, um, and someone asked, "There's a new Fraser, Russell." Yeah. Um, Russell says Trump can rot. I live in Canada. Well, you're lucky there. Um, let's see. Are there any Easter horror films? That's a good question. Are there any Easter horror films? I don't know. I don't right off the top of my head. I don't know if there's any Easter horror films. Um, uh, but yeah, let's go back to that. Let me eat another piece of taquito here. Um, pardon me. What are your hopes for the new year? Beyond not having Donald Trump as our president. um, if that is your hope. That is my hope, but we may not be sharing the same hope. Um, uh, yeah, what do you know, I still don't have a 4K player, so I don't buy 4Ks. I don't really buy new physical media these days because what little money I get, I'm socking back to buy a new camera and, like I said, maybe get a new editing computer. And I want to make movies more than I want to watch movies. But I am still watching them. But um, so anyway, you people, yeah, there's the 4Ks that you want or whatever, you can speak of that, but I don't really do that. Someday, hopefully, I'll get a 4K player, but I don't have one yet. But yeah, what are your hopes and dreams for the new year? Um, mainly for me, is just hopefully to stay healthy. I'm trying to take care of myself physically. I don't eat very well. I'm here eating chicken taquitos and ranch dressing, but physically, I try to keep up with exercise and take care of myself physically. Um, but other than that, I want to make another movie. That's the main thing that I hope transpires in 2024 is that I'm able to make another movie, short film. So, um, does Critters 2 count as an Easter horror film? I don't know. That's a good question. They hatch out of eggs, don't they? So, pardon me. Um, yeah, I guess I guess anything you want to call a horror, if you want to call it an Easter horror film, then go ahead call it that. Like I say, I try to watch Gremlins around this time because I definitely see that as a Christmas movie. And I guess you could kind of call Gremlins a horror film, more lighthearted, more of a comical horror film. Um, but it definitely has a Christmas theme to it. Um, I try to watch Gremlins this time of year. Um, I'll tell you something I watched a few days ago, and I hadn't seen this in probably like 5 years. Texas Chainsaw 2. And I still have a lot of fun with that movie. Don't get me wrong. I will always have fun with Texas Chainsaw 2. You know, and lick my plate, you dog dick, and all that. I have a lot of fun with that movie. But as filmmaking, it is god awful. It is just the worst. And why that is noteworthy is because the man who made one of the greatest horror films of all time made that. Um, Now, I know there's people say, well, you got to get the humor. I do get the humor of Texas Chainsaw 2. Texas Chainsaw 2 is mostly a comedy. And I always did see the humor in that movie. It's very over the top. Dennis Hopper is really overacting. Everybody is really overacting in that movie. Um, it's very broad comedy. It's a black comedy. It's a comedy. Texas Chainsaw 2 is really a comedy, a black comedy. But as filmmaking, It's just awful. It's edited terribly. It's filmed terribly. I like some of the sets. I like the underground, lair. I like that. I think some of the sets are cool. But just as a piece of filmmaking, it's just the worst thing in the world. And so when you take, the what he did with the original Texas Chainsaw, that is actually, shot in 16 millimeter, almost has a documentary feel to it. A lot of it feels very real. A lot of that movie feels very real. To compare Texas Chainsaw 2 to that, it's like, it's just, it's really bad as a piece of filmmaking. Now, like I say, I have a lot of fun with it still, you know, because it's so over the top. It's so broad. Everyone is overacting so much. Dennis Hopper is just, overacting to the moon and back. Chop Tops, everyone's really overdoing it. The cook and everything. But yeah, just as a piece of movie making, it's awful. um, let's see. Blair Hathaway says, "Do you remember the last movie that was shown at the movie theater you worked at? Why did it shut down?" Yes, the last movie that was shown at the Mahia Theater was The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. And I think it was shut down just because of poor attendance. Just people just wasn't going to the movies anymore. Not here in Mahia. But yeah, The Golden Child. And I think it was $1. You could see The Golden Child for $1, I think. And that was the last movie. Somewhere I've got a picture of the marquee with The Golden Child, as the last theater. And it's a Mexican church now. And you can go and see me touring the old Bahia Theater. You can search it on Dead Pit. What's that called, Wes? What's the name of that? I forget what the name of that. The Grindhouse or something like that. Jay's Grindhouse tour or something. I forget what it's called. But I toured the Mexican church that was the old Mahia Theater, and I was a projectionist there for several years at the old Mahia Theater. But yeah, The Golden Child was the last movie of the show there. Jay Reels, love you wrestling pick. I got a wrestling pick? Do I have a wrestling pick? I'll often, like an idiot, I'll pose shirtless on my Facebook page, and there's been a couple that I've posted on Dead Pit, me flexing my meager muscles on Dead Pit on the Dead Pit page. And I don't know, maybe he's talking about that, my wrestling pick. I'm kind of getting a lightweight wrestler's body, featherweight. I'm getting a featherweight wrestler's body, kind of, and maybe he's talking about that. I don't know. Tales from the Grindhouse. There you go. Search that. Search Tales from the Grindhouse on YouTube, the Dead Pit, and you search Dead Pit and Tales from the Grindhouse, and you'll see my tour of the old Mahia Theater, which is a Mexican church now. But yeah, and that's cool. And I show where the projection booths were, and what I would do to switch over from one projection to the other and all that. And that's a cool one. Heartbreak Kid, J Real. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Okay. I should know this, and I'm an idiot. But what is AEW? What am I going to do in when are you going to debut in AEW? I guess you mean is it a wrestling thing? I had the fro. Yeah, I did. I had the afro. Sean says I had the afro. Wes says, Jay, did you see that The Dog Who Stopped the War, 1984, is finally coming out on Blu-ray? Not sure if you are familiar with it, but it's one of those movies that I thought I had imagined and could never remember the name. I don't think I've seen that, Wes. But yeah, and Sean says, yeah, I saw that video you made. The pastor of the church you interviewed, I think, didn't know English. He knew a couple of words. Yeah, he didn't know much English. But yeah. But But yeah, um, I, uh, uh, I enjoyed that. I enjoy watching. I still go back and watch that sometimes. That's an entertaining watch. Watching going through that old theater and just the memories of back when I was a projectionist there. The old ancient projectors. Those things were like built in the like 1930s or something. And what it was is you had these two carbon rods that touched together and they sparked. And it had like a welder's hood that come over the top so it wouldn't burn your eyes when you looked at it. And that's how the movie was lit, by these two carbon rods that touched together and sparked and made this fire. So the movies were lit by fire, literally lit by fire. Those old projectors, those old 35 millimeter projectors. Yeah, my gosh. Uh, and they were like, yeah, they were from like the 40s or something. I don't know what the date was on them, but yeah, they were built for just 100 years ago. Um, but yeah, and back to my afro that Sean says, you had the fro. Yeah. And when you look at if you go and you look at that Tales from the Grindhouse, I had this big old afro. And I finally got rid of that because I still have it. I'm not bald. I still have hair. But if I let it grow, it's just going to be this kinky afro that I can't comb it. It's like steel wool, literally like steel wool. It's just stiff. You can't comb it, can't do anything with it. And I finally said, the hell with that. And so I just cut it all off. I need to shave it down again. But yeah, I got rid of the afro. But yeah. And I would still have the afro if I let this grow. It would have a lot more gray hair in it, but I would have the afro. But so yeah. Let's see, we're getting close to an hour here. We're just kind of hanging out. I remember you talking about a bait shop. Do you fish? Well, no. See, my father had a bait shop. Was a little, he called it JC Sporting Goods. And he sold bait and tackle and fishing supplies and a little bit of sold a little bit of food like bread and things like that. Beer, he had a beer license, so he sold beer, beer and wine. But he had it's still there. The building's still there. I use it as storage, but that was my father's bait shop. But he was the fisherman. Here at Lake Mahia, that man could really bring them in. And I grew up eating catfish. And man, that was some good eating. Daddy get to fry up catfish and big old bowl of plate of catfish. And just, I lived on that shit growing up, catfish. And then some other stuff like bass and crappie and some other fish too, but mainly catfish. And man, he would pull these big ass things out of the lake. Them things weigh more than I did as a kid. Them things weighed 50, 60 pounds. Big ass catfish, huge things, monsters. And back in the day, he ran a marina down there, down at Lake Mahia, down the road from where I'm living now. He ran a marina. And it also had bait and tackle and things like that, but it had fishing licenses. It was right by the lake shore. So they had, ski boats, people skiing, and there was a campground down there. And people could come down in the summertime and camping in their campers down there at the lake. So I grew up there. The first 9 years, that's where I lived, down there at the lake at this marina that Dad managed. And, and so there was always kids to play with, the campers and stuff. There was always something to do, and swimming at the lake. That's how I learned to swim, Lake Mahia, just jumping in the lake and learning to swim. And oh man, eating catfish. Oh goodness. That was some good eating. I still like catfish. There's a few places now you can go and get catfish, but it just don't taste like what my dad used to cook. Fresh out of Lake Mahia, catfish. But I never was a good fisherman. I never was good at it. I would sometimes go with him, go with my father, or I would do it by myself there we had a pier there that's still there, by the lake shore. I'd go out there and put a, cane pole out there and catch little fish and stuff just for something to do. But I never was really good at fishing. That was my daddy. That was J.C. Reel. John Carlton Reel, my father. He was the fisherman. J.C. Reel. Let's see. And what do you mean? When are you going to debut in AEW? I guess you mean wrestling. That's the thing is I've got a little bit of a wrestler's body, but I am terrified of physical confrontations because I'd get my ass kicked all up and down the world. I can't fight, and I wouldn't want to even try. I would just get slaughtered. And even if it was a wrestling thing where it's choreographed or whatever, I would still get hurt. And so, no, I don't want to do that. Let's see. I remember you talking about, well, okay, I'm talking about the bait shop. Okay, yeah. I'm telling you about my father's bait shop. So what else? Like say, the weather here yesterday was nasty and raining and cold, and today is just a 180-degree change. Sunny, pretty. I think we're getting into the 70s today, and just a beautiful day out there. Just crystal blue sky and just really pretty. And I think for most of the week, it's supposed to be really pretty in the 70s, in low upper 60s, low 70s. So we're having a good December so far. And they're saying that we'll likely have a warmer than average December for Texas. You just never know about Texas. I've had Christmases that were in the 80s, literally in the 80s. And sometimes we'll have a shitty winter or sometimes a really pretty winter. So I don't know, but see what we're going to get. Who is your favorite horror host? Do you like Svengoolie? Joe Bob Briggs? I would say Joe Bob Briggs. I've seen a few of Svengoolie stuff, but I'd say because he's a Texan, he kind of talks like me. He kind of acts like me. And Joe Bob was one that was really the first one I started watching, way back in the 80s. I started watching Joe Bob stuff. I think he had a show on NBC at one time, like on Saturday nights or something. Started watching Joe Bob. I was going to high school still when Joe Bob started his stuff. But yeah, Joe Bob would be my favorite. Darren says it's 5 below in the UK. Oh my goodness. No, I ain't studying that kind of weather. Yeah. I definitely am a summertime guy. We get summers here. This last summer where we will go months where it's 100 degrees or more every day. I think we had 3 months straight where it was over 100 degrees every single day. And that's something I'm just used to. For around here, I'm used to 100-degree temperatures. And sometimes it'll go extreme, 110, 115 degrees. But I'm used to that. And I just walk around outside all day without a shirt, because most men in Texas walk around without a shirt anyway. So it's nothing unusual to walk around without a shirt in Texas. But I do. I just walk out there, half naked, and no one looks at me funny because, most of the men around here not wearing a shirt, even in the wintertime. But yeah, summertime is my time. I do better than most people in 100-degree heat. I'm out there exercising and doing my shit. Be 110 degrees and I'm out there sweating, but I'm doing it. Let's see. And let's see. Blair says, Jay, always enjoy hearing your stories. You are a tremendous storyteller. Well, bless your heart, Blair. I sure appreciate that. I like to talk. I'm kind of like Dana in that respect. I like to talk. So I appreciate that you find it somewhat entertaining, the things I say. So, but I do. I like to talk. I like visiting with you guys. And like I say, I live alone. My best friend Barry passed away last December, so I don't have him to hang around with, go see movies with, go out to eat with and stuff. So I'm lonely, but I'm not depressed. I don't really feel depressed, but I am lonely. And this certainly helps having you guys to talk to bullshit with, and just, have, and the stuff I do with Dana. Once again, get well, Dana. Everyone, give Dana your good thoughts that she gets well soon. But yeah, I really enjoy that. I really, enjoyed you guys. Really helped me a lot. Just feeling connected to some people, and having some people to talk to. No, not likely will I make a Chester Grimm movie. I spoke of Ray, and I'm not going to speak more of Ray. Now, like I say, we're not enemies. We're just not friends anymore. But that was really a collaboration with him, Chester Grimm. And he wrote most of the shows. I think they're really funny. A lot of them are really funny. He was really creative in kind of developing that character of Chester Grimm into a character. But yeah, it's not likely I would do it by myself, Chester Grimm. So no, not likely there's going to be a Chester Grimm movie. Let's see. Wesley Steve don't like to talk. Well, he has a show that he does for himself. I'm assuming he talks. Why doesn't he like to talk? Yeah, I don't know. I like to talk. What else did I watch? Seemed like there's something else I watched. Oh, I finally watched Pearl, and really, really enjoyed Pearl. The prequel to X, which I really enjoyed X too. And I don't know what you people think of the A24 stuff. There's some people that really don't like the A24 stuff. I like some of their stuff. I really do. I like the, what was it, The Lighthouse. I really like that. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. But anyway, X I really liked. But Pearl I thought was just something special. Just really good. Was it Mia Goth? It was a story that she told. She co-wrote it with the director. Was it Ty West? I love the look of it. It looks like an old classic, like Gone with the Wind or Wizard of Oz or something. It had really bright colors, and I think it takes place around like 1918. It has a classic movie feel to it. It's like a classic movie crossed with a slasher film, But I really like the juxtaposition, the way it looks to the character of Pearl. But gosh, that performance by Mia Goth, she should have got an Oscar nomination, seriously, for that movie. She gives a performance in that film that's just better than anything I have seen anywhere recently. Just so good. And there's like a 5-minute monologue she has near the end of the movie that's just like something out of, like I say, she should have been nominated for an Oscar for it. She really should have. And I'm not bullshit. If you haven't seen Pearl, go see Pearl and see if you don't agree with the movie itself and with Mia Goth's performance being just one of the best things put out there recently. Yeah. And let's see. Russell says our adopted parents were from the UK. And Texas says just enjoying the show. You ever thought of doing a documentary, maybe a sequel to Into the Pit? I do want to do a documentary. I have thought about doing a documentary about Mahia, about the town of Mahia, downtown, and about the history of it and how it's, there's still a downtown area and it's still pretty active. That back in the day, that was the place to go. If you went to get anything, you went downtown. This was before Walmart. They had a 5 and 10 cent store, Duke and Ayers, 5 and 10 cent store. And that's where you went and got your shit. That's where, as a kid, that's where you bought your toys. And Christmas time was decorated and ready for Christmas. Duke and Ayers. And we had a Gibson's. And I think at one time we had a Piggly Wiggly downtown. And K. Woolen's was a clothing store. and had a J.C. Penney's down. And in fact, on the sidewalk, there's still the old J.C. Penney's logo is still on the sidewalk downtown. That's where I went, come to buy new shoes for school. Mother took me to J.C. Penney's, and that's where I got my shoes. So I kind of wanted to do a documentary about downtown Mahia and its progress and its history and all that, and interview people and stuff like that. And it's something I don't know if I'll ever do, but it would be something I'd enjoy doing. I'd like to do a documentary. I really would. Well, okay, Stream Elements. I don't know what it's saying. Yeah, but yeah, if you don't mind giving this a like, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, give this a like. I think that's just, I don't know if it's just something that's just automatically generated or what. But yeah, 2024. I was born in 1965. And so if you were to say to me as a 6-7-year-old that I would see the year 2024, well, I haven't seen it yet. So, thumbs up, I do see it. But I would have just been, oh God, I can't even conceive of that. And look at a movie like Back to the Future 2 that conceived of when does that take place? 2016 or something like that. Where they have flying cars and all that. That's how we saw the future back then, mid 80s or whatever. We thought we were going to be flying in cars by now, but we're not. But yeah, it's just the way time goes by, and it's just so unreal how fast time seems to go by, and that we're entering 2024 and another Donald Trump presidency. Oh my God. Well, we'll see. What's hanging on the wall back there? Okay, I'll show you what's hanging on the wall back there. Hang on. The only thing I really collect is Batmobiles. Mainly they're Hot Wheels Batmobiles, but I collect Hot Wheels Batmobiles and some other different brands if I can find them. But that is mostly of what's hanging on the wall back there are Hot Wheels and Batmobiles. And I have over 200 of them. 200 different kinds of Batmobiles. And there's like some Batcopters and Batplanes and such, but most of them are Batmobiles. And so that's what you're seeing back there, Batmobiles. Yep, that's what it is. So cool, Blair says. Well, cool. I'm glad you think so. I think it's cool. That's my collectible. That's what I collect. Batmobiles. Been doing that for about 10 years now, collecting Batmobiles. Let's see. Red says, I watched Unsane 2018 again yesterday. I wonder what happened to the other two from Blair Witch Project. I don't think I've seen that. Unsane. How much do I bench? I don't really bench. I'll tell you what I do. My joints don't like lifting weights. I think I have pretty good forearms. I like my forearms. But what I do is called dips. And I've got a couple of old walkers that I put my hands on them and I lift my body up and down. And I do, what do I do? 200? I do what I call a set. And a set for me is 20. I do a set of 20. I'll rest about 30 seconds. I'll do another set of 20. And I'll do that 10 times. Lifting myself up and down. Dips. And I do that for a count of 200. And that is, a workout. And I usually do 2 or 3 of those. Like every 3 days, I'll rest a day. Then another 2 or 3 days but I do a lot of what I call dips. Actual lifting weights hurts my joints, hurts my old joints. So I don't do a lot of weightlifting or benching. Uh, I lift my body, dips, and it's good for the chest. It's good for the triceps, the back of the arms. Really good for the shoulders. I really like my shoulders. For someone my age, I like my shoulders. I'm lean. I'll always be lean. I'll never be bulky. I'll never be bulky, muscly, but I'm lean, muscly, if that makes any sense. And I like it. I like, you know, I'm pleased with how things are going along those lines. But I do a lot of dipping, and then lately I've been doing a lot of push-ups. In the evenings at night, I'll do probably another. I do a count of 30 on that, and rest like 30 seconds, and do so. I guess you would say 300. I do that to a count of 10. And here's what I use. Get these things. These things. You set them on the floor, and what I like about them is I can put them close together and kind of do sort of a pyramid push-up. I don't know what you call that when you do them real close together, your hands together, and then I'll space them apart and do 30 push-ups that way, and I can space them, do different positions, and move them like that. But yeah, these things are like, I don't know, $10 from Amazon or something. There's so much you can do with very little money, just using your own body weight. As your, instead of lifting weights, you're lifting yourself. And I weigh about 145. So I'm lifting 145 pounds when I do the dips, and all that. So, I'm happy with the way I'm looking. I'm lean now, almost lean towards skinny. I'm not going to be bulky. I never will be bulky. You have to eat a lot to be bulky. You've got to really take in a lot of calories, a lot of protein. And I just make myself sick trying to eat that much. But I like the way I look. Physically, I do. Let's see. Jake asks, Jay and everyone, do you consider Batman Returns a Christmas movie? I totally do. I guess so. I mean, I guess I could consider that a Christmas movie. I really like that movie. I think I like Batman Returns more than the original Batman. Although I love Jack Nicholson as the Joker, but Batman Returns is such it's a creepier, more grim movie. Danny DeVito is the Penguin. And it's darker, much darker, Batman Returns than the original Batman. So I think I like Batman Returns even more than the original. But yeah, I guess I could call that a Christmas movie. And you better bring some pulling movements too. No. I don't know what I would do to pull. I mean, I guess you could do, I do that. I do pooling. I'll tell you what else I got. I got the bands. Yeah, I got these recently from Amazon. These bands. Yeah. And what I do, not going into too much detail, so you can, pulling. There you go, pulling. Pulling. And what I do is, late evening, everything comes off, clothing wise. There's you an image, and I hook these onto my feet, and I pull them. What do I do? I do 20 and rest 30 seconds and do 20 more. For works the biceps and works some of the shoulders and arms. But yeah, I pull. I do some pulling. So yeah, I got the bands. Yeah, got those from Amazon. Yeah. And those don't hurt my joints. So, but actual lifting weights hurts my joints. It does. I just don't like it. You know, I've got a few dumbbells and stuff, but I don't use them much. But there is one thing. Speaking of lifting weights, the one thing I do for lifting weights, and this is a 30-pound dumbbell, and it's called a goblet curl. And that's when you put it in your hands like this, and you lift it this way. Instead of holding it like you normally would in your hand and doing that, you lift the weight that way. And it really isolates the biceps doing that goblet curl. But like I say, this is a 30-pound dumbbell. And I'll do that sometimes, do the goblet curls. And that don't hurt my joints too bad. But regular lifting weights just tears my joints up. Let's see. Think you need, no, you don't want a house tour. You really don't. This old trailer house is just, it's run down. And I mean, it's my home. I love my home, but I don't really want to show it off. Don't drop it on your toes, boss. No, I don't want to drop it on my toes. Yeah, I don't want to drop 30 pounds on my toes. I sure don't. Don't drop it on the real family jewels. Nope, I don't want to do that either. And then what I was doing here come close to that. So, yeah. But yeah, I find the dips and the push-ups and the bands give me a good general all-over workout. And I'll walk. What I like in the evenings particularly, I'll walk down this old country road, and I'll do 4 or 5 laps there. So sometimes I'll walk 5-6 miles, during the evening. So I get a good walk. So I give my legs a good workout. The people that have watched my streams with Dana, you see I'm usually in my damn boxer briefs with my damn white ass girly legs. I've got teenage girls' legs that don't have a speck of hair on them. Not a single hair on my legs. But you've seen my legs. If you watch me doing the watch-alongs, you've seen my pale white, snow white legs. So, but yeah, I get a little bit of exercise for the legs, the thighs and such. Let's see. I like dips too. Skull, Copenhagen, I made a joke about that, actually. I made a post where I'm doing one of my damn poses, and I said, enjoyed the dips workout. And I go, no, I don't mean Copenhagen or something like that. But yeah, I've made that joke. So what time is it? Where I'm 3:18. So I'll go to at least 3:30 here. Yeah, we've had a pretty good visit here. But I haven't heard from anyone about what your plans are for the new year, or what are your hopes and dreams for the new year, or do you have any, or do you care about the new year? Does it make any difference, the passing of a new year? It doesn't really to me a whole lot. I don't make a big deal about it, but it is something to think about. What do you want to accomplish for the new year, if you do want to accomplish anything? So, what else? Trying to think what else. Went to town today, and I got another Keurig. I got the cheap Keurig. It's $50. I had it for $50. I think on Black Friday they put it on sale, and they still had some. So I got another Keurig. It's just the same one I had before. It's just a different color, but I updated and got a new one. And in the morning I drank 2 coffee pods, and I'm so hyperactive. I try to stay away from caffeine in the evening and afternoons, but in the morning I start with 2. I have a big mug, and I fill it up with coffee, and I get these multi-pack flavored pods that have, chocolate chip cookie and all these different flavors of coffee. And pretty much they all taste the same to me. But yeah. So I drank 2 coffee, but I bought another Keurig today. Well, what the hell? I said, well, $50. I'll get it. Update it. So I wrapped up my other one. I've got it ready. If this one gives out, I've got another one. Of course, I got the 2-year warranty on it for $5 or whatever. So at Walmart, you get that warranty. I always talk you into that warranty. But yeah, like I say, as far as the new year, I want to make another movie. I got to get the camera first. So y'all let me know if you want to donate. And like I say, if you want to buy the shovel, the crystal shovel. If you haven't seen Crystal, send me a message. I'll send you a link to it. You can watch it. And you can see what this shovel is all about. It's a big prop in the film. It's a major piece of business in Crystal, is this shovel. And it's signed by Megan McGuffey. I love that name. That's a very movie sounding name. McGuffey. Megan McGuffey. Yeah. But anyway, let me know. But $300 won't take less. Because if I'm going to give it up, I'm going to get the money I need for my camera. So, but no, I'm trying to think if there's anything else other than just hanging out with you guys. I've enjoyed this. I appreciate you guys coming on and talking with me. Can you take off your shirt for us, sweetie? We want to see your rig. Well, I don't know. You may be speaking only for yourself there. I don't know if there's anybody else there would want to see me take off my shirt. So I'm going to play. You can go to my Facebook page. Like I say, I often pose without a shirt, and I probably should not do that, but I do that. So you may not want to see me without my shirt. But trying to think movie wise what it is, because I don't go to the movies. I just don't have anyone to go with. I really would love to go see the Thanksgiving film, but I just don't have anyone to go to see a movie with. So most of what I watch is home, either on Blu-ray or DVD or on streaming. So I'm trying to think what I'm going to watch. That I saw that Totally Killer recently. What was it, on the Amazon channel? But I really like that. I really enjoyed that. Kind of a Back to the Future. Definitely is very, very much influenced by Back to the Future. But it's kind of like a teen slasher film crossed with Back to the Future. I thought it was pretty creative. I enjoyed it. And it takes, this girl goes back to the 80s to try to prevent this killer from, continuing his killing spree. But it was very entertaining. Totally Killer. I enjoyed that. Are you the voice for Howard the Duck? No, I'm not the voice for Howard the Duck. Do I sound like Howard the Duck? Let's see. Blair says, Jay, I haven't seen a movie with another person in years. I go by myself all the time and love it. Well, see, my problem is I don't drive a car. Yeah, like I say, I've never had a driver's license in my life because I'm blind, basically, half blind. So yeah. So if I'm going to go, it's going to be with somebody. J Reel's nutbag. Worked my tail off at the mines this week. Seeing that physique would make it worthwhile. Well, you're the first person that I've talked to that actually would want to see me stripped. But okay. Okay. It's not much to see. But okay. All right. This is the first time I've done that, taking off my shirt in front of the world. So, there you go. That's me. That's me without my shirt. You've seen me. So I don't care. Like I say, at my age, I don't care anymore. I'll do any. Well, I'm not gonna say I'll do anything. I'm not gonna do anything, but I did that much. Can Crush, impressive. J Rail's nut bag. Now, who are you? J Rail's nut bag. uh, yeah. Damn, are you single? Yes, I am. I am single. Um, I am single. So let's talk. I'm single and without the company of another person. So um, now he's got the Jack in it look. Well, oh well, I'm not showing much. Not showing much. So you know. So, but there you go. You've seen me without my shirt. Actually, you most of you have seen my naked legs, and now you've seen my naked upper body. So, but yeah, I don't care. Um, doing anything Friday night? Uh, I want to find a movie to watch. And like I say, everyone has any suggestions, something that's streaming. And I finally do have Paramount Plus, and I've got Netflix, I've got the Amazon channel, I've got Hulu. Um, I don't have Shudder, but if anyone has a suggestion on something I could watch, you know, I'm taking suggestions. Um, our last name means a coal mine, Russell. But yeah, give me a suggestion on something to watch tonight because I'm in the mood to watch a movie. And like I said, the weather's been so pretty here today. That's when I'm finished with the stream here, I'm going to go out and do my dips and do my dips and enjoy the outdoors and go for my long walk and all that. Really enjoy this nice weather. Um, Bubble Butted Men from Mars is always a go-to movie for me, sweetie. Um, and so let's see, what's 3:30? Let's go say another 10 minutes and with me half naked. So um it feels good though. I like it. It's comfortable. I'm comfortable without a shirt. Like I say, during the summertime, this is how I am pretty much all day long. And I don't care what people think, you know. You know, if I've had a big old pot belly, I wouldn't care because it feels good. So, and most men around here walk around without a shirt. They just do. It can be 40 degrees below zero. They walk around without a shirt. You know. So, but yeah, I don't care. I don't care that you're seeing me this way. You asked for it. You got it, or somebody asked for it. Let's see. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I guess maybe I should kind of wrap this up. Although, like I say, I definitely would talk some more if you guys have got more to say to me. But no, this has been a good talk, and you've talked me out of my clothes, and um, but no, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Do I watch sports? I'll tell you what I watch. The only thing I watch is the Dallas Cowboys play. And the reason for that is my father, J.C. Real, was a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. And I was raised watching the Dallas Cowboys play football. But I don't watch anything else. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch basketball. I don't watch wrestling. I know a lot of you guys are wrestling fans. I grew up watching wrestling with Daddy, but that was back the old days, the old Fritz Von Erich days, you know, Iron Sheik, Ivan Putski, you know, yeah, way back there. I'd watch wrestling with Daddy, but I don't watch anything else but the Dallas Cowboys. And they played last night. It was on the Amazon channel, and I thought they were going to lose, but they came up from underneath and they won the game. And they've been playing real good this year. And a lot of people are saying that they may be a Super Bowl team this year, but I don't know about that. But it's the Dallas Cowboys. And I just watched the Dallas Cowboys because I was raised with the Dallas Cowboys. So that's what I watch. Cool cat. Go Chiefs. Dak Prescott has a nice what? Okay. But yeah, that's what I watched. Dallas Cowboys. Dallas and Houston wrestling was the greatest. Okay. I'll take your word on it. Well, huh. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Since you guys have talked me out of my clothes, and this might be a good time to close up and wish you guys a good day. I've enjoyed this, enjoyed hanging out, and guess I'll wrap this up. And let's give one final word to Dana that she gets well soon. Because, like I say, she goes above and beyond to entertain you folks, and definitely want her to, get well and feel good. And so, Dana, get well soon. And so, okay. See you, sweetie. Keep up the physique work. Yeah. Well, y'all finally saw me naked, so. Okay, that's a good way to close. You seeing me naked. Okay, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we had a good talk and a good visit. Another Jackin' It with Jay, and I'll talk to y'all soon. And y'all have a good one, and get well, Dana. Great first time, Jay. Russell, great. Is that your first time, Russell? Well, good, and come back for more. And I'll put a shirt back on for the next one. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yeah, have a great weekend. Like I say, the weather here is just beautiful here. Looks like we're going to have a really nice weekend. And you guys take care. Get well, Dana. Give this show a thumbs up if you would. Sure appreciate that. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Let's see. Leave. Okay, I'm leaving.